What's up, it's you for today's video where we full Chairman Rose theme. Now, Chairman Rose is my very favorite music theme in Sword and Shield. Is it yours? Is it not yours? Let me know in the comment section. Now, Chairman Rose's team are all steel types. It made this battle theme quite difficult, especially with fire type Pokemon. If you want to follow me for all the live theme teams, Pokemon sweeps, shiny hunts, and other Pokemon games, make sure you do. That's on twitch.tv/PIMPNITE. The link is in the description if you haven't followed me already. Make sure you do. They're loads of fun. Plus, I get to interact on a more personal level with all you people. Okay, so today we got 3 battles. I really couldn't decide which ones to put in, so I just put all 3 of them in right. The first battle is against Turok, and this one was on my Twitch. Sort of reminds me of the game, this old dinosaur hunter game, my Turok Dinosaur Hunter. Not sure if you've ever played that before, but definitely one of my, up there with some of my favorite games. So we got Drill Run, Iron Head, Mega Horn, and Sword Dance. That was the moves that Chairman Rose run on his Escavalier. I ran Max Health and Max Attack there. So instead of going for a Fire-type move, it's going to be going for a Scold instead. I was like, okay, that's sort of an interesting play. I was kind of curious why they didn't go for a Fire-type move. I was very, very curious, considering it's 4 times weak. Then I was sort of answered after that when the Center Scorch went for a Burn-up. So like, that makes sense. So down goes my Escavalier. Obviously, in one shot, there was no way I was living that. And goodbye, Escavalier. It's not like I could have swapped either because my whole team is weak to fire. So the next Pokemon we're going to be swapping in is Berserker. I ran this as a speedy choice scar set. So I ran Adamanature and Iron Head and Steely Spirit. And Center Scorch is going to go down to that one, which is really good. Since it lost its fire type there, that made it neutral. Now, the next Pokemon here is Flareon. So, in the team preview, I was looking at these Fire-type Pokemon, I'm thinking, man, I'm going to get like dumped at 6-0. So, I managed to go all right so far. So, going for that Iron Head, really, I was hoping for a flinch. It does a lot of damage with Steely Spirit. And now, Flareon is going to be a special set. Go for the Mystical Fire. Berserker hangs on 6 health, which is very, very lucky. I think I just took minimum damage there. And now it's got the Toxic Orb as the item too. So, I was wondering if it's going to have like a mix set. I was hoping it didn't have Quick Attack. And it didn't have Quick Attack. So, I'm going to go for an Iron Head here. And guess what? I get a flinch. So that means I'm going to be able to take out the Flareon, even if it does actually pack Quick Attack, which I was hoping it didn't, because that could mean like another turn out of Berserker, right? So go for the Iron Head there. Now, I ran Choice Scarf on there. There was 3 good attacking moves, and there was Screech, and Screech was like, nah, I can't really make use of it, so I'll just I just won't use Screech at all unless I really have to, and just whack the Choice Scarf on there for all the physical attacking moves. So next Pokemon is the Urshifu. It's Karate Kid. Man, I've watched the Karate Kid movies in ages. That dude with like the little bonsai, I think. So we got the Iron Head here. That's my best option. I'm locked into that. I was like, let's see if we get a couple of features on this thing. So it does, once again, really good damage here. And now the Karate Kid is going to go for the Drain Punch and take out my Berserker. Now, this is actually quite a good Pokemon against my team too, because once again, they're all Steel type Pokemon and they're all weak to like fighting type moves. So fighting and fire, having that weakness on your team and a big weakness is really, really difficult. So swapping in Ferrothorn here. Ferrothorn's got Gyro Ball, Power Whip, Body Press, and Curse. Now, I was thinking to myself, it's probably better just to go for Power Whip to get some damage on this thing instead of like powering up my defenses and attack with Curse. Right. Now, the Urshifu is going to get some health back. Unfortunately there, I'm going to get a little bit of damage from the Iron Barbs too. So on this one, I ran a Citrus Berry instead, and I actually gave this Max Attack and Max Health. So I wanted to be more of an offensive Ferrothorn rather than a tanky run, right? So Power Whip is going to land, and the Karate Kid, well, he won't be doing karate after that one, and he is down. So we got 3 of the Pokemon down so far, so 3 counters there, like 3 straight counters. Now, the next Pokemon is Garbodor. So, like, okay, finally a Pokemon that doesn't have, like, you know, something super effective against my whole team. So I can't go for Power Whip. I could go for Gyro Ball, or I could go for Curse. I decided to go for Gyro Ball and see how much damage it would do. So Garbodor is going to be running a physical set. You never know if Garbodor can be running like physical or special. And it does a little bit of damage, but not really too much. I guess I think they've got more invested in bulk. So now go for the Gyro Ball here. Gyro Ball does really good damage to Garbodor. And Garbodor is going to have weak armor. So that's only going to suit my purposes better, you know, to feint this Pokemon the next turn. Now, weak armor Garbodor is got an Air Balloon as its item too. That's going to pop too. Not that I had a ground type move to use it against it at all there. So another Drain Punch here on my Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is not going to go down, even though the Drain Punch is going to give it some sustain in health. There's no way it'll live the next one because I got that weak armor from before, and plus the Iron Barbs too. I did think about running a bulky one, but The moves that I had on it, though, I mean, it had like body press and curse, but it was more suited for like an offensive run rather than running like max health and max defense. I mean, I could have done that, but I went for a more like just totally offensive one. So now we got another counter, which is Marowak, Alola. Man, look at this. I can't do anything at all. It's not like I can swap. I just went for Power Whip because that was the most powerful move that I got. So the Alola Marowak is going to be the Dynamax Pokemon here, and I am very, very scared of this thing. Like, its fire-type moves are going to just demolish my team. Now, Chairman Rose also had only 5 Pokemon too. He didn't have the the full hit of 6. So we got the big old Marowak. Man, that's the biggest bone you're probably ever going to see in your life. And it's going to be going for a Max Flare. So Ferrothorn is going to go down. The bad thing about this team too, there was a Scavalier and Ferrothorn, both which were 4 times weak to fire. And that did not help. And also, it's going to be putting the sun out in the field too, which is going to make fire-type moves even more deadly. So my next Pokemon is Copperajah. This was the only Pokemon that I could swap in that I thought could actually take this. This was a Salt-Vested Max Health and Max Attack set with Heavy Metal. So this was, I was definitely going to go for the high horsepower, and that was going to be my best bet. Plus, I might be able to bulk up my special defense a little bit more. So the G-Max Copperajah, out of all of the G-Max Pokemon, I feel like this and Dreadnought are like the ones that are most sort of forgotten or not really liked or used that much. I don't know, I just really feel that. Anyway, so obviously I'm going to get outsped by this thing. It's going to be going for a Max Flare in the sun. I'm like, I probably might just live this, and I lived it very well. So I'm like, okay, they must be running a special Alola Marowak set, which is pretty cool. So go for my high horsepower there. It's a clear 2-hit KO, and that's really going to help out my Copperajah too, giving it a nice boost on the special side. It's already quite bulky there too, and if they were running a special set, it's going to do like lots and lots less damage now that I've got that Assault Vest and the boost. So I could go for Max Quake again. I was thinking about going for G-Max Steel Surge, putting that on the field. It might help me up. I was like, nah, I better get rid of this. It's a very threatening Pokemon. Plus, if a critical hit happens, that could be really bad, and I could have cost myself another move. Now it's going to go for a ground-type move. Does a lot more damage. I think this might be actually mixed. Physical and special moves on it, because that did way too much damage to be like a special attack. So go for another high horsepower there, and down goes the Alola Marowak. So we got one more Pokemon left here, right? And I've still got one more Pokemon after this. It's a Steel-type Pokemon, if you can remember what it is. So goodbye, Marowak. You were a very threatening Pokemon there, but definitely a cool mix set for sure. So the last Pokemon is Sylveon. This was funny. So Sylveon's going to come in, right? It's like, okay, this will be easy. I can go for G-Max Steel Surge and take this out. However, it may be able to take me out, so I've still got one other Pokemon after this fight. So the Sylveon is going to go for a Copycat, and it's going to copy the last move used on the field, which is my high horsepower. And it takes my my Copperajah out with high horsepower. That was very, very funny there, and like total disrespect. So down goes my Copperajah physical Sylveon there. Now the last Pokemon we got is Klinklang. This is definitely the best Pokemon I've got on my team. In terms of sweeping, right? So we got Shift Gear, Gear Grind, Wild Charge, and a Syringe. Most of the time you'll be using Gear Grind. The only thing about Gear Grind is that accuracy is a little bit bad. It does hit twice though, which is nice. Wild Charge is obviously just there for coverage as well. But once again, like these are just the exact moves that are used. So go for that Gear Grind there. The first Gear Grind hits really hard, and then Weakness Policy activates on the Sylveon. I'm like, man, I really hope this next one takes out. That wasn't like min damage or something, and Sylveon is going to go down. So I was very, very lucky that was definitely going to go down because with the crit there, because I don't think I would have led the next attack if it was a special one, right? So thank you for the battle tour there, a really close game, and we'll get on to battle 2. I also need a little bit of a drink here. So the next battle, this one was against Hunt, and this was a very interesting battle to say the least. A very, very interesting Pokemon used. So the first Pokemon was Machoke. I'm like, okay, a fighting type Pokemon. That could be a little bit of a pain, but I wasn't that scared of it because, I had some fairly fast Pokemon. It's a couple of hard hitters here too. So I've got Power Whip. I thought, let's set up Curse against this thing. This could be an alright idea. I might be able to get this going. So Machoke is going to go for a Workup. I'm like, oh, Workup, okay. And then I'm starting to think, okay, I hope this isn't going to be a special set, because that could be really nasty. Like, the special Mage Champ that I've run for 69 years. So I got that +1 in defense and attack up, and the next Gyro Ball is going to be hitting very hard. Oh, I can even go for a Power Whip too. That's also going to do a lot of damage against this thing. Now, I'm wondering if it's going to be no guard as well, because that'll be really nice for my power whip. That could be a good move to go for. And I could also go for body press. I decided to go for the body press here, and the Machoke actually Dynamax, and I'm like, no, you kidding me? Now, I'm starting to think, what move is this going to use? Is it going to be a physical set? Is it going to bolster its attack with Max Knuckle? Or is it going to be something else? And I was really worried about what that something else was going to be. I had a little thing in the back of my mind what it, there's this tiny little % chance of what it could be that I was hoping it wouldn't be, and it turned out to be that. I'm assuming this is going to be a Fire Blast Machoke, and Ferrothorn is going to go down in one shot. And the sun is going to go out in the field too. This is really, really bad. So it's got +1 in special attack. I mean, it did make up, since a lot, 2 of my Pokemon are 4 times weak to fire, and they're all weak to fire, and the sun's out, it is going to be doing a fair bit. So I've got the Choice Gov set Shadow Claw. There's no point really going for that. I thought I may as well go for Iron Head Steely Spirit. That'll do the best amount of damage possible. Now, I know that I won't take Machoke out, but I've got to get some form of damage. Now, also in these battles, I was not allowed to Dynamax any other Pokemon. I could only G-Max the Copperaja. So even if there was a situation where I could get back into the game using one of my other Pokemon and Dynamax, I wasn't allowed to do that because that was part of the challenge, right? So down goes Berserker, and the next Pokemon is a Scavalier. I was really, really hoping that the Quick Claw would come into effect and I could get an Iron Head off myself. So I thought this would do a fair lot of damage. I should almost be able to take this out or get very close. So I get the Quick Claw right. Iron Head is going to drop really hard, but unfortunately it's just not hard enough to take out the Machoke. So Machoke is going to go for a Fire Blast, and a Scavalier is definitely not going to be living this one. So special Machoke sweep is happening right now. Man, these fire moves, they're just destroying my team. I've lost, well, over half my team. So now we're going to bring in Clink Clank. I really needed to clutch back into this game. Now, I really couldn't afford Machoke to go for another Fire Blast. I could go for a Shift Gear here, but I didn't want to go for that because I'm not the most bulky Pokemon on the special side either. And I'm assuming this Machoke was max special attack too, right? Something along those lines. So I decided just to distinguish the Machoke and take it out. I'm assuming that it was going to be no guard as well because, those Fire Blast and stuff and Focus Miss, those sort of moves, they don't work really well when you miss a lot of the time. So down goes Machoke finally. It only took me 4 Pokemon to take it out. And the next Pokemon we got here is Thwacky. So it's like, okay, Thwacky, what are you going to do? Now, I really needed to hold on to my Cling Clang and maybe swap it in at the right time to get a Gear Grind there, a Shift Gear Grind. So it's going to go for a knockoff there. Unfortunately, it's going to get rid of my Assault Vest, and the sun is going to fade, which is good. If there's any more sneaky fire type move, that's a good thing. So I thought this is a prime time to go for the G-Max Steel Search here, put some of those spikes on the field. Now, this is where the battle got kind of interesting as well. So Fletchinder is going to come in here. This is actually a middle stage kind of Pokemon team. Well, there's a lot of middle stage Pokemon, which made, it really interesting to see what sort of Pokemon sets it would be. So we're going to have one big elephant here, and this big elephant is actually had a lot of trouble with this Pokemon. I had to really think about what's going to happen. So my thought process here at the moment was, okay, I'm going to put the spikes on the field, but there's not really too much I can do this other than maybe a max Mindstorm, and then I could pop, once the Psychic Terrain is the field, I could go for that again. It'll do even more damage, and that should be enough to take out the Fletchinder, right? Now, I took that move reasonably well, considering I was actually starting to think that it could be definitely an Everlight set, and then it went for Will-O-Wisp. I'm like, no, it's going to be a bulky set and Will-O-Wisp. So it had Will-O-Wisp. Now I'm starting to think, does this thing have a way to heal itself up? Does it have Roost? I'm thinking if I was going to run a bulky Everlight Fletchinder, I'd probably have Roost on my set too. That would make sense. So I've got the Psychic Terrain on the field now. My next attack is going to do a lot of damage here. So I thought, okay, do I go for the Max Quake anticipating the Roost? Or do I just go for Max Mindstorm to get that set amount of damage? Now, if they do go for Roost, Max Quake is going to do a lot more damage than Max Mindstorm still because that's super effective. Plus, I'm burned too, and I really need to get some damage on this thing before. I at least need it in a low amount of health so I can come in and just, wipe it out before it keeps stalling me up. So I thought about this play for a very, very long time. I decided to go for it at the end, and then the Fletchinder is going to go for Roost. Cool, I predicted right there. I found it very funny that it wouldn't have Roost if it was a bulky set, right? I guess I've used all the Pokemon, and I sort of know what sort of sets and moves would run even on the meme set, right? So go for that high horsepower, puts the Fletchinger basically back where it was before, right? Now that's going to give me a special defense boost. It's kind of going to make up for me not having that assault vest too. Unfortunately, once again, I'm burned, so my attacks aren't going to be doing, you know, as much damage as I would have liked. Like, if I wasn't burned, this Fletchinger would be fine. Like, I could just go for, like, even Heavy Slam would do a lot of damage there. So I've got Zen Headbutt. That is my best option. I thought to go for high horsepower again, but I was like, no, we'll go for Zen Headbutt this time. Unfortunately, now Fletchinger is going to go for a default ride, and that's going to get rid of all the steel, and it's going to get rid of the weirdness on the field too. So like, man, that really sucks. So I know my Zen Headbutt is probably going to do like 3 damage here, considering I'm burnt. So if I had the Psychic Surge up, or the Psychic Terrain, that would have taken out the Fletchinger for sure. Now, of course, Fletchinger can easily outspeed me, and not only do that, it can roost up and get over half its health back. So at the moment, I was really fighting a uphill battle. Now I'm starting to think here, what should I do? I've got my Kling Klang, right? But if I try and set up a shift gear, I'm going to get burned by Will-O-Wisp, so I can't do that. That's not going to work either. Like, what should I do? Now, the item on my Kling Klang was weakness policy as well, so I get one of the shift gears up, I get hit by a super effective move, and it bolsters my stats, you know, to really sky high. So I go for Zen Headbutt again. I really just wanted to get this around like a lowish level of health. I knew now that my Copper Archer wouldn't be able to beat this thing, and it also had used Fire Spin and trapped me in too, so I couldn't actually swap it all. And at this stage, Fire Spin was probably doing as much as Zen Headbutt too, which was, I was a little bit salty about that. So we got another, obviously I was thinking, well, they're just going to keep going for Roost after Roost after Roost. And I had Wild Charge on Kling Klang, so I was confident I could take it out. I just needed to make sure I outsped it, or I didn't try and set up on it right, because that could be devastating. So go for high horsepower again there. I was really just hoping for a crit. That was my last way of actually getting around this thing, you know, if it did storm me out with Roost. So Copper Archer is on its last turn now. The next Fire Spin is going to definitely take it out. I was like, okay, they may go for Roost here. I may as well just go for high horsepower again. And instead of go for Roost, it's going to go for the Fire Spin, and Copper Archer is going to go down. Sad face for Copper Archer. He tried, but man, that was a very bulky set. I sort of had all the tools to beat it, but with that burn, it just made it, like, impossible. So my last Pokemon is Kling Klang. Now, also, you're probably wondering why I've got a shiny here. Now, Chairman Rose didn't have a shiny Kling Klang at all. I just had one on hand, and I thought I'd just put it on the team. So he had no significance to a shiny Kling Klang at all. So I'm going to take that Fletchinger out. Finally, just a Wild Charge straight to the face. I had to get rid of it, right? It was way too much of a threat. So out comes Drizzly. I can go for another Wild Charge. I was a little bit worried about maybe a Focus Sash and the Recall, and then it, like, just revenge shotting me afterwards. But I really had no choice against this thing, and I didn't think Gear Grind would take it out in 2 shots either. So I go for Wild Charge, and Drizzly is going to go down, which is great. So that's another Pokemon. So there's a Thwacky. I know that Thwacky really can't do too much to me at all. And then Jigglypuff comes out. So I was like, okay, that's good. Now, I've got Shift Gear. I was like, okay, Shift Gear is going to be good. I know the last Pokemon is actually a Dracloak. So I was thinking, I got to set up at least one of these, and because it could be an Everlight set, right? And it may be able to live one and, you know, take me out. So I've got that up, and now Jigglypuff is going to go for a Seismic Toss here, and Kling Klang is going to get thrown out of the world, but it's going to come right down. So I've got to take this out this turn, otherwise the Seismic Toss will take me out. So I go for the Gear Grind on the Jigglypuff, and Jigglypuff dodges the attack, and now it takes me out with Seismic Toss. That is probably the first and only time you will ever see a Jigglypuff beat a Kling Klang in Pokemon. Man, I'm so salty about that. I was about to come in there, clutch back in and get that W. I really don't think I would have lost there if I took the Jigglypuff out with the +1. Anyway, take of the battle. I'm not salty or anything. Let's get on to the third and final battle. This one was against Skeet, and it's actually a 5v5 here, which is interesting. This was quite an amusing battle. Like, the ebbs and the flows of the battles of this battle went crazy. So the first Pokemon is Rillaboom, right? Now, Rillaboom is a grass type. It's going to be going for the Break there. It's about a 3-hit KO. Now, I do get some damage on Iron Barbs. In this matchup, I was actually starting to think to go for a Curse, right? I thought Curse then one Gyro Ball would almost take Rillaboom out. Like, Rillaboom's got some decent speed, and if they were running any speed EVs, you know, that was all the better for me too. But even if they weren't after a curse, it was going to be doing heaps right. So Rillaboom's going to go for a knockoff there. It's going to knock off my Berry. However, it gets some more Iron Barbs damage. That's cool. And now it's going to get rid of the Citrus Berry too. I'm going for the Gyro Ball, and that is going to be heaps, and that's going to take Rillaboom out. So Ferrothorn's off to a good start there. I've got +1 in defense and attack. So I'm bulky, and I'm doing a lot of damage. So Shiinotic's going to come in here. I just went for a Gyro Ball again on it. I was thinking it might have like a Sash or something like that, but it's going to be going down in one shot too. So Ferrothorn takes out another Pokemon. Epic Ferrothorn sweep. I don't know if I've actually done one of those. I think I've done a Ferro Seed sweep, but not a Ferrothorn. I'm going to have to check that. Maybe the dedicated PIMPNITE sweep person will really know that one. So Delmire's going to come in. It's going to go for a Shadow Ball. That is not going to do a Shadow of Health. And I'm going to go for the Gyro Ball there. Almost taking it out in one shot. Now it's going to go for Whirlpool. So it's definitely more of a, like, I'd say, like a support set, judging on the damage of the Shadow Ball. And Ferrothorn is going to take that out too. So it's taken 3 of the 5 Pokemon out of it at the moment like that. That's a lot, right? That's heaps. So I haven't even used like the other 4. So the next Pokemon is Leafon. It's like, okay, Leafon. A lot of these Pokemon are actually quite well walled by Ferrothorn too. I will say that. So Leafon's going to go for the dig there. It's going to be digging underground. I went for Gyro Ball. It's like, if this Gyro Ball lands against Leafon, it's going to do heat. I think I was pretty confident it would take it up. So I'm going to be leaving that dig, and I'm going to get some Iron Barb damage out. Imagine digging and going up into one of Ferrothorn's spikes. That would be, you know, not very nice. So Leafon is going to go down with a Gyro Ball. I've nearly taken the whole team out with just Ferrothorn, but since the Ludicolo is going to come in here, I knew that... well, my time was up here. I knew that I'd get outspared and that it was going to take me out. So they haven't Dynamaxed any Pokemon yet. I knew this would be their Dynamax one, and I was sort of wondering what Ludicolo set that it could be, because Ludicolo can run good special, and it could run like a good physical too. It's got some decent bulk to it, nice. And it's almost good seeing one big old pineapple on the field, right? So Ferrothorn is on its last legs there, if you want to call them legs, or I don't know what you call them. So it's going to be going for a Max Knuckle. I'm like, oh dear, it's going to be boosting its attack here. So down goes Ferrothorn, so it's got a +1 in attack. Now, if it's got any way of boosting its speed, or if it's got like, I don't know, if it's got like Airstream or something like that, this could be a bit of a problem. So next Pokemon is my Escavalier. It's like, okay, I've got to end this. I've got Mega Horn. That'll do a lot of damage. Quick Claw is going to activate. So bring it. This is great. And Mega Horn misses. I'm like, no! Oh, I really need that to hit. And the next move it's going to be going for is a Max Guys. I was like, oh crap, this is not good, because this thing is very fast in the rain too. So it doesn't do a lot of damage, but I know the next hit coming my way is probably going to take me out, because it's going to get a boost from that rain run. So Quick Claw is not going to activate this turn. Ludicolo is going to be going for another Max Geyser, and a Escavalier is going to come down. So that really, really sucks. I've lost a very bulky Pokemon there, and a Pokemon that had a good type advantage against Ludicolo too. So next Pokemon is my Berserker, and I'm like, okay, well, it's got the rain up. It's going to probably be able to like outspeed me. The best move I can really and truly go for here, I could go for Screech if I got a physical move against it, but I was like, nah, I'll get some, I could get some Throat Chop or Shadow Claw damage, so I went for Shadow Claw instead. Does okay damage to Ludicolo, a little bit of a glitch there, and it's going to be going for a Brick Break again. I thought I may live that one, but I didn't, so maybe the first one was min damage and the second one was max damage, but this Ludicolo is really coming back into the battle now. It's taken 3 of my Pokemon out. So next up, we got Clink. I still got Colossal, but that's about it. I've got to get around this thing. So now Ludicolo is going to be going for a Brick Break there. Brick Break is going to activate my weakness policy, which is great. And I actually went for I went for the Gear Grind here, because I thought, you know, that really... No, I didn't. I went for the Assurance. I was thinking about another Ludicolo. Now, Assurance is not going to take out the Ludicolo, which sucks, but it does a lot of damage. Now, Ludicolo, obviously, is going to lose the rain. Now it's going to get outsped, and I'm going to finish it off with the Gear Grind there. And that, my friends, is the third and final battle. Ludicolo nearly sweeping my team at the end there. Hope you enjoyed all 3 of these battles. It was a very, very fun team to do. I think the last one I've got now is Orlina, and that'll be next week. Peace out, people.